welcome to Economics at KGS. Economics is a sixth form only subject, so unfortunately if you're younger there's going to be a bit of time before you can study economics. It's a 2-year course and we do the pre-U course, which there's some information about in the booklet that goes alongside this. Economics is one of those subjects that people come to, they might have some misconceptions, and we're going to have some students telling you a little bit about what they think about the subject later on. The 2-year course largely covers an introduction to economics, and hopefully as many people as possible want to go and carry it on and study it further. There's courses split up into 2 parts. So the first part that they'll study is Macroeconomics, which really deals with the nitty-gritty detail of economics. It builds from the ground up. You as the consumer, what influences your decisions, why do you make those decisions, and kind of looks at the roles of firms and governments, and looks at how and why and whether government should intervene to try and make certain markets work a certain way or a different way. And then we look at sort of the extent and when the government might get it wrong, when they might get it right, and give you the skills to sort of analyse and evaluate that. So the other part of the course is macroeconomics, and this kind of does the reverse. It's looking from the top down, and we start by looking at macroeconomic indicators. So how on earth do we measure all of this stuff that's going on? And we look at some of the strengths and weaknesses of the things we measure and why we particularly care about them. We then move into a little bit of theory, so we look at the world around us and we go, can we put some theory on this? Can we use economics to explain it? And then we finally look at the roles of governments, central banks, and what they can do to try and influence this, and again, how far and how much they should get involved in that. We also introduce the idea of trade between nations, so we look at this sort of whether this big trade war between China and the US is going to affect our lives, and how directly does that impact, because it sometimes feels like something you hear in the news. How does that affect me? So hopefully it's going to give you an opportunity to sort of know that kind of thing.
So some of the key areas that economics at A-level looks at is the current affairs in the world around us, and you'll begin to tackle key questions such as how to stop huge rises in unemployment, as is so sort of common and prevalent nowadays, or should the government put price caps on PPE and things like that. Furthermore, sort of should governments and central banks be worried about debt and rising spending in this time of actual crisis, potential recession? These are just a few of the areas that you'll begin to understand and comprehend as you go through the A-level course. And we've got a few of our students ready to talk about this now.
Well, I think someone should study economics because it gives you a broader perspective on the world. You know, you learn about different countries, how your own country operates in a way that you wouldn't sort of know in that much detail before. As well as that, it's something new. I'd never done it at GCSEs, so then moving into A-levels, I was quite excited to try something new, so I think that's why one should do it. And it really improves your general knowledge, you know, and it goes great with any other subject you want to study.
So I have a question. Why should a student study economics for A-level?
One reason and one reason only: they're interested in the world around how society works. If you have that interest, then I think it's very good science. If you don't, then goodness sake, go and study something else. And it's entirely understandable if someone 16, 17, 18 isn't particularly interested in the world around them, they're interested in all sorts of other things, and that's just fine. But if you are interested a bit, then economics is a very good way of getting more informed and more interested.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.